What's up, Falcons Nation? It's your boy Jew coming at you with another Atlanta Falcons video. As always, Falcons Nation, rise up. In today's video, I do want to recap Week 1's game between our Atlanta Falcons and the Philadelphia Eagles. But if you're new to the channel, please hit that subscribe button. Hit that notification bell so you'll know when I've done Atlanta Falcons content. Hit that like button for your boy. I do appreciate each and every one of you guys for continuing to tune in to the channel. Continuing to help me grow my channel. We're currently on the road to 2,000 subscribers. But with that being said, let's jump right into the video. So our Atlanta Falcons did lose in Week 1 to the Philadelphia Eagles by a score of 32-6. It was a debacle in this game. I was very disappointed in the way that the game turned out. But I do believe the Atlanta Falcons can correct some of the things that we saw in this game. The first thing, I feel like our first Achilles heel, and I talked about it going into this game, and my keys to victory was winning the line of scrimmage. Usually in the game of football, whatever team dominates the offensive line and defensive line, dominates the line of scrimmage, is usually the team that wins the game. In this game, the Philadelphia Eagles dominated us both on the offensive line and defensive line. They had the better offensive line. They had the better defensive line. In this game, I believe Arthur Smith's game plan was to run the football, which I wasn't surprised to see that because he did come over from Tennessee, where he had a run-heavy offense, and he runs a West Coast type scheme like Kyle Shanahan, where everything is predicated off the run. You try to run the ball to open up the pass through the play action. But in this game, the game kind of got out of hand due to us not scoring touchdowns in the red zone and due to us shooting ourselves in the foot with a lot of penalties, pre-snap penalties. We had a couple of illegal formations. We had a couple false start penalties, and we had a couple of offensive pass interferences that killed drives in this game. I think we did a good job in the first half of running the football. We ran the ball for over 100 yards in the first half, which is really good in an NFL game to be able to run the ball. Usually you want to get to that 100 mark, through the entire game, but we were actually able to get to 100 yards rushing just within the first half. Cordell Patterson and Mike Davis ran the ball really well in this game, which was one of the bright spots of the game. But to me, I think that we did a good job in the first half of sticking to the game plan, trying to slow the game down and trying to prevent the Eagles from being able to pin their ears back and tee off on Matt Ryan. But because we didn't score touchdowns in the red zone when we got into the red zone and we kicked field goals, the game kind of got away from us, and Philadelphia was able to get ahead a couple possessions, and then we had to basically pass the ball to try to get back into the game, and that's when the defensive line of the Philadelphia Eagles was able to tee off on Matt Ryan. They came away with 3 sacks in this game in the second half and pretty much obliterated our offensive line. Jalen Mayfield, Drew Dalvin, and those young guys up front. Matt Hennessy really had a hard time against that Philadelphia pass rush in that 4-man front. Philadelphia did a good job of keeping everything in front of them and running a lot of zone coverages and making Matt Ryan throw the ball in tight windows, and they really made it tough for us. Now going into next week, it's going to be important that we either bring in a veteran offensive lineman to try to compete with a guy like Jalen Mayfield, or we may just have to rely on the guys that are currently on this roster. Now, I know we did bring in Gossick, I believe his last name is, from the Cleveland Browns, who's a veteran offensive lineman. I believe his name is Kobe Gossick, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe he's a guy that can come in and compete with Mayfield. Him and Drew Dalman, maybe those guys can compete with Jalen Mayfield for that starter position. But I'm definitely looking to see how this team responds after Week 1's beatdown. Basically, Philadelphia was able to take advantage of our young guys up front. And we did a poor job of executing in this game. I always say it all the time here on my channel that it's important in the game that there's usually 3 to 4 plays in a game that can change the game and can swing the game in your favor. And in this game, we didn't do ourselves any favors. Every time our defense got a 3 and out, or every time our defense made a stop, they had a 2 turnover on downs where they shut down the Philadelphia offense in the first half. And we didn't do anything to capitalize as far as on the offensive end with good field position. So it's going to be important heading into this next game against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. From what I'm seeing, they say that the line is opening up at like 10 points to 13 points as far as they're favoring the Bucs to beat us by 13. I believe Vegas had it at 10 points, and now it's been raised to 13.5 points. This game will be played in Tampa Bay this week, this Sunday, which is a 4 o'clock game, 4:05 game. So I'm definitely looking to see how this team bounced back from this loss. This is going to say a lot about this Atlanta Falcons team. Is if we're able to take a punch and get back up off the mat like a boxer, if we're able to come back and be resilient. I'm definitely looking to see how this coaching staff comes back and adjusts to this game plan this week against Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay is one of the better offensive and defensive teams in the game. We know they have Tom Brady, who a lot of people consider the GOAT at quarterback, and we know that they have a great pass rush as well, and they have a lot of weapons on offense as far as wide receivers and running backs. So this is going to be a great litmus test for our team. And like I always say, it's any given Sunday. Just because we lost this week to the Philadelphia Eagles in a blowout fashion, I do think that this game was a lot closer than the score appears early on. We did a pretty good job early on in the game and in the first half of keeping the game close. The Eagles was able to blow the game open in the fourth quarter because our offense wasn't able to get going, and then our defense started to get tired. So that's pretty much my assessment of this last game. Now, another thing that I think kind of went overlooked, and I talked about this heading into week 1, I really feel like Arthur Smith should have played the starters in the preseason. That was something that I wanted to see from Arthur Smith, is him put these starters out there so they can get game reps. So guys like Jalen Mayfield, guys like Matt Hennessy can gel together. Now, yes, going into week 1, we didn't know that a guy like Andrews, who was supposed to be the starting left guard, we didn't know that he was going to break his hand. So basically, Mayfield was kind of thrusted into that starting role. So I can kind of give Arthur Smith a pass for that. But I still believe that they should have played the starters a little bit, so we would have known some of the problems that we had in this game could have been adjusted and could have been addressed during the preseason. We possibly could have brought in another veteran guy before the season started to try to compete with Jalen Mayfield for that starting position. But at this point, we just have to roll with what we have. We possibly can bring in, like I said, we have a veteran currently on the roster. He possibly just needs to learn the actual playbook in Kobe Gossick. So hopefully he can come in and do some things for us. But with that being said, this being your boy Jew, I'll holler at you guys in the next video. But like I said, as always, Falcons Nation, rise up. I'll have a lot more coming for you guys. But that was pretty much my assessment of week 1's game. I'm not panicking. It's not time for panic mode. It's just week 1. A lot of teams look bad in week 1, like the Green Bay Packers, who was an NFC Championship team last year. So we really don't know. This because the guys didn't play in preseason. This was their first live action. We got a lot of young guys on this team. But I want to see how these coaches adjust to some of the mistakes that were made and some of the errors that was made in this game. And it's going to say a lot about these guys. It's going to be a great litmus test early against the defending champions, arguably the best team in the league. And I want to see how these guys bounce back from this poor performance in week 1. I do think that this Falcons team is going to compete for a playoff spot. And I do believe that we're going to see a better team in week 2. And I do want to see if we can eliminate some of the errors that we made during this game. But with that being said, this been your boy Jew. If you enjoy my content, please hit that like and subscribe button for your boy. Like I said, we are on the road to 1K. Please hit that like button as well for your boy. But I'm going to have a lot more coming for you guys. So just continue to tune in. But with that being said, this been your boy Jew. I'll holler at you guys in the next video. As always, Falcons Nation, rise up. Peace.